Welcome back to Quiet Mind with Ken. I'm really glad you're joining me tonight. In our last episode, we talked about the power of gratitude and how it can help shift our focus toward the good things in life. Tonight, I want to touch on something many of us struggle with, especially during this quieter, more reflective moments of the fall season. Negative self-talk. We've all been there. That voice in the back of our minds that criticizes us, that tells us we're not doing enough, or that we're not good enough. But tonight, we're going to talk about how we can recognize and overcome that negative self-talk, and in doing so, create more space for self-compassion and peace. Negative self-talk is something we all experience at some point, whether we realize it or not. It's that inner dialogue that's quick to criticize, quick to point out our flaws, and often much harsher than we would even be to someone else. The fall season, with its natural shift towards reflection, can sometimes bring those critical thoughts to the surface. As we look back on the year or reflect on where we are in life, it's easy to focus on what we think we haven't done well enough. But here's the thing. Just because those thoughts come up doesn't mean we have to believe them. I've struggled with negative self-talk for as long as I can remember, especially during times when I felt like I wasn't meeting my own expectations. I remember a time when I was working on a project that meant a lot to me. But no matter how much progress I made, I kept hearing that inner voice telling me it wasn't enough. It was exhausting. No matter how hard I worked, that critical voice was always there, reminding me of everything I hadn't done yet. But over time, I've learned that negative self-talk, while persistent, doesn't have to control how I see myself or my progress. It's just one voice among many, and it doesn't tell the full story. Negative self-talk can weigh us down in ways we don't always notice. It can chip away at our confidence, make us second-guess ourselves, and create unnecessary stress. When we constantly criticize ourselves, it becomes harder to see our own worth, harder to appreciate the progress we've made, and harder to find peace. But it's important to remember those negative thoughts are not facts. They're just thoughts, often shaped by fear, perfectionism, or unrealistic expectations. And just like any thought, we have the power to challenge them, to question them, and ultimately to let them go. So how do we start to shift away from negative self-talk? It's not about ignoring those thoughts or pretending they don't exist. It's about recognizing them for what they are, just thoughts. And then choosing to respond with kindness. Here are a few ways that can help. 1. Notice the patterns. The first step in overcoming negative self-talk is to notice when it happens. Pay attention to the moments where that inner critic shows up. Is it when you're stressed? When you're tired? When you're comparing yourself to others? Once you notice the pattern, you can start to address it. 2. Challenge the thoughts. When a negative thought pops up, ask yourself, is this thought really true? Is it helpful? Often we'll find that these thoughts are based on fear or old habits, not reality. Challenging them helps to break their hold over us. 3. Replace criticism with compassion. Instead of responding to yourself with criticism, try responding with compassion. Imagine what you would say to a friend in the same situation. Chances are you'd be much kinder to them than you are to yourself. Practice offering that same kindness to yourself. Let's take a moment now to reflect on how we can shift from negative self-talk to self-compassion. Close your eyes if you can, and take a deep breath in and out. As you breathe, I want you to think about a moment recently when you've been hard on yourself. Maybe it was something small, like not getting everything done on your to-do list. Or something bigger, like feeling like you haven't lived up to your own expectations. Now, imagine what you would say to a friend in the same situation. Would you criticize them? Or would you offer them understanding? Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, release that critical voice. Let go of the harshness and replace it with kindness. You're allowed to be imperfect. You're allowed to make mistakes. You are enough, just as you are. As we move through the rest of the fall season, I encourage you to practice responding to yourself with compassion. When those critical thoughts come up, and they will, pause for a moment. Notice them, but don't let them take control. Instead, choose kindness. Choose to see yourself the way you would see a friend, with understanding, with patience, and with love. Self-compassion doesn't mean ignoring the things we want to improve. It means recognizing that we're all works in progress, and that's okay. By letting go of the harsh inner critic, we make space for growth, for peace, and for healing. Thank you for being here with me tonight. I hope this reflection on negative self-talk has reminded you that you don't have to believe everything your inner critic says. You are more than those thoughts, and you deserve to treat yourself with the same kindness you offer others. As you prepare for sleep, take one more deep breath in and let it out. Rest knowing that you are enough, just as you are, and that you have the power to choose compassion over criticism. Until next time, take care, and remember, kindness starts with you.